Good afternoon. As you heard, I'm a Chief Happiness Officer, so my job is to make people happy at work. And I love my job. No wonder. What I do, I go to companies in Denmark and actually all over the world. We're quite proud that Woohoo Inc. We've been to now 34 countries to visit companies and to talk about happiness and work. We do keynotes, we do workshops, and it's really amazing how happiness can change a company if they want to. So, of course, that's important. If you want to change, you can do it. So today the topic is leading with happiness. So not only happiness at work, but leading with happiness. Is that possible? Of course it is. Why is it important? I think that we all know that bad leadership creates stress and frustrations, and it will make actually employees to perform less. But if you're a great leader, if you're a good leader, you will actually motivate your employees, you will energize them, and you will help them performing even more. So, if you help your employees to perform more, they'll be more productive. So I will actually start saying that happy workplaces make more money. And I know that that's what most leaders actually think about. What about the money? It's important that we earn money, and we need money for the stockholders and stuff like that. But I will tell you today, if you focus on being happy yourself and having happy employees, that's what you get. And if you have happy employees, they are not only more productive. We actually work with a lot of science, and everything we do is science-based. And when you look through science, you will actually find out if people are happy, they're better at all these things, and I guess even more things. They're more productive, have more energy, they're more creative, they're more helpful, they will learn faster, and they're actually also better leaders. So if you're happy, you will be better at all these things. So of course, if both you as a leader and all your employees are happy and will be better and more successful at your job, the company will earn more money. So that's what my talk today is all about. How can we all be more productive and more energetic and more creative and so on, so on. How can we actually focus? How can we become even happier at work? And that's actually what we say, that happiness at work should be the rule and not the exception. Every single company should be happy. And there are a lot of happy companies. And I know that in Denmark, we're really good at this with happiness. You know that we are the happiest country in the world. Yeah? And we're also really happy at work. We are actually so happy that we invented a lot of words about the happiness things. I'll tell you about that. But before, I actually just want to show you the stock market returns for normal companies and for happy companies. This is from the US, and the last two, you can see the Russell index and the S&P index, but the first red one is the Fortune 100 best companies. So the companies that are voted the best companies in the US, and they actually have a stock market return over 15 years that are more than twice as big as the normal companies. So if you have a good company, a company where people like, where they actually probably love to work, and yes, it's possible to love your job, not only to like, but to love your job, then you will actually have a company that will make more money. So back to Denmark. Why can I stand here and say I'm an expert in happiness at work? It's actually because in Denmark we have a word. We have a very strange word. You know the word. You know the word. And the word actually means happiness at work. But it's a word we have, and it's called arbejdsglæde. I know it sounds funny. If you translate it directly into English, it's work happiness or work joy. But in Danish, I actually helped you how to pronounce it here. Arbejdsglæde. So what about we all say that together? Arbejds. Exactly. That's a new word that you should know from now on. Arbejdsglæde. It's so important. And in Denmark, and it's the truth, when you go to work and you talk about arbejdsglæde, how is it with your arbejdsglæde at the moment? People know what it means. Leaders talk about it. Employees talk about it. Bigger organizations, they talk about arbejdsglæde. But what do they do to become a happy workplace? And again, we looked into science and we actually found out that it came down to only two things, two really important things that you have to work on if you're even as a person, but also as a company, as a leader. And it's to focus on having happy employees. Haha. So it's actually the number one factor of a leader. It's a number one priority for you as a leader is to focus on having happy employees. It is important. I think you also know, do you know what's the number one reason why people quit their job? Their bosses, exactly. They have a bad relationship with their immediate manager. So it's really important how you lead your employees if you're good or a bad leader. So you should focus on two things that will create a happier workplace, and it's results and relationships. You have to start with yourself. If you want to be happy, we tried it. We went to even we worked with the Danish police, and we tried to tell them that, what about you just force people to be happy? But it's not working. People have to be happy deep inside. In here, they have to feel. It's a feeling. Happiness, it's a feeling. It's not the same as job satisfaction. That's what you think about your job. But if you're happy, it's going on down here. And that's where you have to start with yourself. If you want happy employees, you have to be happy yourself. You have to be passionate about what you do. If you don't have the passion, how can you give it on to your employees? So find your passion. And if it's not your passion to be a leader, then you shouldn't be. Maybe you started working somewhere where you actually loved working with numbers and you were really good at that. And then suddenly you became a leader. It was not what you wanted. Maybe you wanted the salary, but the job that followed with it, it's not your strengths. You like the numbers. You don't want to coach people, and that's what's leading is all about. It's about coaching. So if you don't like to coach, if you don't like to be a leader, you shouldn't be it. So be a leader, be happy, and like people. It's important that you like to work with people. So I said it before. You have to focus on both results and relationships, and that goes also when you want to give this happiness to your employees. Results. It's about that we talk to a lot of people about this, and no one is going to work to become happy. That's not why we go to work. We go to work to do a great job. We want to do a great job, and that's the results. So we want to be proud of what we do. We want to feel that we make a difference with the work that we do. And we want especially to know that it's meaningful. That we know that the job that we do is meaningful to someone else. When you know that, or if you can make your employees to feel that they do a meaningful job, they will be happy at work. So that's about the results. And the relationships, they're as important as the results. You need to like the people you work with. And it's also important for you as a boss that they like you and that they like each other. It's important to create trust, and it's important to feel that that your employees feel that you respect them and that you know that your employees respect you. So results and relationships. And we say that you should actually focus equally 50-50 on both. And when we ask our clients, when we come to our clients for the first time and we ask the leadership, where's your focus? Results or relationships? What do you think that they say? Results. Because it's so important for them. But they forget, by having great relationships, they can create even bigger results. Having bad relationships is you know, if you work together with a colleague and you don't like that person, will you create great results really fast? No. If you like a person and you respect that person and you trust that person, you'll create results even faster. So focusing both on results and relationships equally is so important. So let's go down to what can you do. I brought you some tips, and I know most of them, maybe you heard them earlier. I couldn't understand what they were saying earlier, but some of it I got, and I think that you heard some of what I will say now. You heard it before. But let's start with the results. To create results, to focus on results, what can you do as a leader? What can you start doing tomorrow? First of all, asking, yeah, you could do that because communication and talking to your employees is really, really important. Also, focus on what you get done. If I say that a lot of leaders are really good at telling people what they didn't do, how much we are behind, we still need to have to do these tasks before we have our budget, and we need to do this, and we need to do this, and we are even more behind than last week. Does it sound familiar? Have you heard that before? That we tell each other how much we are behind instead of telling each other how much we managed to do. This much we had done this week. Really good work. We are going in the right direction. And it's really, really important, because if you tell people that they're constantly behind with their work, you demotivate people and they will be even more behind. If you tell people that they actually get things done and they're good at what they do and they actually have all these tasks they did this week, maybe you hope that they will have done this much, but they completed these and they should know it. Instead of telling them, we still need 10 tasks. Tell them that they did 20, and maybe next week they will do 22. It's so important how you communicate. Do you communicate the things that you have done or the things that you haven't done? So think about motivation or demotivation. You can also do it with graphs. What about putting up graphs in the office and showing people how great they are, how much they actually do? And again, it's back to, as an employee, we would like to know that we make a difference, especially if we are in a really busy period and we run faster and run faster. We need to know that we make a difference. Otherwise, we think it's not worth it, and we'll do less, we'll be less productive. Celebrate success. Any companies that you know are really good at celebrating successes? Mary Kay? Yeah? I saw that in the pictures. It looked fun. Because it's important to celebrate successes. And it doesn't mean, you can do it with champagne and cake and stuff like that, but you can also just gather people, gather a team and say, yes, we did it, and go back to work. That's enough. It's important to celebrate successes, because often it's easy to talk about the things that goes wrong, all the things that went wrong. We talk about them all the time. We don't have to tell each other that we need to remember to talk about what went wrong, because the problems, we always talk about them. But the good things, the successes, the good results, sometimes we forget to share. And it's important to share the good results. So we show people that they create great results. And that's on a daily basis. Science shows that it's even the small wins during a process that's important to tell people about. If they see that they create meaningful wins, even small wins, they will perform better. So for you as a leader, it's important to tell people that they make progress, even small wins, every single day. The next one, I think you talked about this earlier before today, praise and recognition. And I think it's really, really important to praise and recognize people for the job that they do, if they deserve it. If they don't deserve it, don't do it. I heard a lot of consultants going out to people and say, now, from now on, you have to praise 5 employees every single day. And it's like you have to search for things to praise for, like, you're really good at sitting in a chair, good job, stuff like that. And that's not praise, that's not recognition. You need to find a thing that they were really good at. This was awesome, this was great, this was more than you expected. Then you praise your employee for that work. And the best way to praise, I think, is to tell them what they did good and what it means to you, or maybe even for the whole company. How can you praise? I think actually it's time to stand up. Yes, let's stand up. Let's give each other some praise. I don't know here in Prague, but in Copenhagen, companies are not really good at praising each other. So the easiest and fastest way to praise someone else is to look at a person, raise your right hand, and do it. High five. Yes. And that's if a person does a great job. What if the job was more than great? What if it was fantastic? It was awesome. Is a high five enough? Yeah, woohoo! Maybe double high five, maybe, or maybe a high five and thumbs up, and you rock. I don't know what works for you. So maybe, what about that we all do one more high five? You rock. Do it. Yes. Thank you. Please sit down. Perfect. That's a fast way of doing it. So, praise and recognition. Remember, people should earn it, right? People should earn it. Okay, the next one about praise. Sir Richard Branson. He's from a very successful company called Virgin. Virgin everything. Virgin vodka, Virgin bridals, clothing, Virgin records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Galactic. Soon you can actually fly to outer space with Virgin. He's a great guy, and he said that he's always believed that the way you treat your employees will be the way that they treat your customers. And if you praise your employees, they flourish. And when people flourish, they grow. They grow as a better person and as a better employee. And he knows that. And he's actually also really good at celebrating successes. I don't know if you follow Richard Branson on LinkedIn or something, but he has a lot of great ideas about celebrating successes and good results. You should look that up. So that's Richard Branson. Next one, it was not results. You remember the next one? Relationships. Great relationships. I don't want you all to be best friends. It's not about being best friends, but it's about showing your colleagues and showing your employees that you care for each other. And if you care for a person, you talk to that person, right? And one thing that we actually had to work with a lot of companies, both in Denmark and outside Denmark, was saying good morning. Can you imagine that people, especially leaders, were bad and very not good at saying good morning to their employees in the morning? They just came into the office and hurried in and sat down. And that's not the way of creating relationships. You actually need to say good morning and talk to your people if you want to create relationships. So that's just the start. That's the beginning. And one of the big leaders in Denmark, Lars Kolin, he knows what's important with employees. It's that you know the different people's needs. That's the big secret behind leadership. So it's about knowing your people. If you know the people that work for you, you will be a better leader. And how can you know people better? By talking to them. Say good morning to them and actually go and just talk to them without any agenda. That's what we call Take 5. It's something that we actually teach leaders to take 5 minutes every single day with one employee without an agenda at all. Just going down to an employee, talking to that person and just asking, how's it going? Maybe they will say, how's it going with your arbejdsglæde? But otherwise, no agenda at all. And that's how you actually will hear things from your employees that you would never, ever hear. Because when you have a meeting, they will not say it. So go there and talk to them without an agenda at all. I love this. Random acts of workplace kindness. Do you know that? You do that on a regular basis? Yeah? You bring the two. That's a random act of workplace kindness. You do something nice for a person that they don't expect. And that's really important because people would like to be seen. They would like to know that someone is caring for me. So that's a really good thing about relationships. Do a small thing that will make another person happy. And the good thing about this, that if you make another person happy and you see that that person is becoming more happy, you get happier yourself too. So this is really, really important if you want to create happiness for yourself and for your employees. So, I know this was really fast. Normally when I do leadership speaks, it's at least 2 hours. So I really wanted to bring some really, simple tools that you can actually implement even tomorrow when you start working. So do small things every single day. I know it's not hard to do a small thing, but it's hard to continue doing small things. But that's what you need to do. And then I think that you should make leading with happiness your number one priority as a leader. It's so, so important. And if you want to know even more about arbejdsglæde, about happiness at work, we actually have a book out in English. I'm sorry, we have not translated it into Czech yet. Maybe some of you guys would like to do that. It's Happy Hours, 9 to 5. How to love your job. Can I say that here? Love your life and kick butt at work. That's the undertitle here. So that's where you can find out more about happiness at work. And also, we made a small animated video. You find it on the webpage called What the Heck is Arbejdsglæde? And in 8 minutes, we in English will explain you what arbejdsglæde is. So that was all for me from now. So, jikuji!